What's up guys, it's TheMildOtaku, and let's start off with some RWBY news. Now I don't know if you guys know this, but Carrie Shawcross, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, and Miles Luna, the two co-writers of RWBY that personally worked with Monty Yoon on RWBY since the beginning, had recently done an interview on AfterBuzz TV. And I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can check out the interview where they talk about the first two episodes of Volume 3, and they even talk about how they came up with some of the ideas for RWBY, like Neptune's Fear of Water, and they even talk about how they felt making certain scenes from the two episodes that just came out, and a lot of other interesting stuff, so you guys should check it out. Next piece of RWBY news is the serialization of the brand new manga adaptation of RWBY, which will be drawn by manga artist Shiro Miwa, who is the manga artist behind Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage, or the Viz Media English translation, Dogs Prelude. And this RWBY manga adaptation will be serialized in the seinen manga magazine Ultra Jump. The first chapter of the RWBY manga adaptation is already out. I already read it, and I gotta say, if you guys have been keeping up with RWBY, you guys, there's like not really any spoilers ahead, but it just starts off pretty weird. It starts off in the beginning of the red trailer, but then bam, it just skips a bunch of stuff, and we're already at Beacon, where John, my boy John, he's already getting bullied by Cardinal Winchester. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and I really like the artwork so far in the manga. You know, some characters look pretty off because, you know, I say it's probably a really big challenge having to go from 3D models to 2D. So I give props to the artist on that. He did a good job, man. And we just know that the art style is going to keep progressing as time goes on, because that's just what usually happens with manga artists. And I do believe that Ultra Jump is a monthly manga magazine. So yeah, stay tuned for that month. Another fun fact about RWBY is that even Japan's recognizing the RWBY greatness. 6 theaters in Japan have been screening RWBY episodes on the big screen, man. That's some impressive stuff. And what's also going on in Japan is now Japan is officially able to get some RWBY DVDs and Blu-ray collections of RWBY, man. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below so you guys can see the article that pertains to this information. Now enough news, let's get on to the RWBY Volume 3 Episode 3 review. So we start off this episode with Weiss rushing to see her sister Winter, and during their conversation we really get a good grasp of what type of person Winter is. And well, she's pretty much what we would expect someone from Weiss's family to be. And she has a very stern personality. She's a very dignified and prideful individual. And during her conversation with Weiss, pertaining to what type of government setup in Vale compared to Atlas, we can tell that Winter definitely shifts to the side of an authoritarian type of government. However, behind that cold exterior, no pun intended, lies a caring and loving person. Since she did seem pretty interested in catching up with Weiss on how she's been since she's entered Beacon on a more personal level, she just has her own way of showing it. Which brings up the argument that we can make, which is Crow and Winter are pretty much polar opposites, but not in the sense that one is good and one is bad. No. They are opposites personality-wise. On one side we have Winter, who's very professional with her line of work in the military, a real stickler for the rules, cares greatly about keeping up appearances or her image in public. And then we have Crow, the alcoholic, always drunk huntsman, who clearly doesn't care about his image or mind what people think of him. But one of the most interesting differences between them is in their ways of showing that they care towards their loved one. While Winter's very formal and strict with Weiss, Crow is very playful and easygoing with RWBY. So yeah, that was a very interesting observation that I noticed between them. Now that battle between Crow and Winter was pretty freaking sweet, to say the least. We got to see what kind of weapons Winter and Crow are rocking, and we got to see that Crow, he's on some Cloud Strife business with that thick longsword. And it also seems to have a gear mechanism that transforms the longsword into a scythe, which we got teased with at the end. The frustration is real! But that's alright, in due time. We just gotta let this play out, and we're gonna see that scythe in all its majestic glory in due time. Now we have Winter rocking a saber that happens to have a smaller saber stored within its hilt, allowing her to get on that dual wield in action. But besides that, we also got to see her use this weird snowbird's attack, and we don't know if this is her semblance or she's just using dust to manifest these flocks of birds. We had also seen that she was using glyphs just like Weiss, and I thought that the glyphs were Weiss's semblance. So yeah, I don't know if the glyphs is a family trait to the Schnee family, but yeah, I would just like to get some further explanation on that. Now the conclusion to this fight was pretty anticlimactic, but it was just a tease, man. It was just a tease to show us the abilities that these two fighters are capable of. An interesting thing to note, I think Crow's semblance might be that he can actually see through the eyes of crows, and maybe that's why he knew Ironwood was going to show up. Because we did see that Crow, before the fight even started, just take off and fly off. So I think Crow might have actually been able to see through the Crow's eyes that Ironwood was about to show up. So yeah, that's just a speculation I'm making. Now the secret conversation that goes on in Ozpin's office is something we already know since season 2. You know, the freaking big crazy crisis that's about to emerge. Man, I was freaking loving it. Freaking Crow, he was putting General Ironwood, aka James, aka Jimmy, in his place, man. You know that now people are worried, saying like, why the heck do we need this big army here? Like, what the heck are they gonna try to protect us from? So yeah, that's when Ironwood knew he done slipped up. Another interesting thing that we can take away from this conversation is, what the heck was Crow talking about freaking Autumn? Autumn's condition? Is this a person? Is this the forever fall forest? Like, what the heck's going on? And Cinder is Cinder Fall, and Fall and Autumn, same thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna take a guess. I'm gonna guess that this Autumn person has some kind of connection with Cinder, and maybe it might even be her like twin sister or something. Maybe Cinder's got a twin sister. But we all know that the person that they were talking about by they, as in the people scheming against them, is Cinder and her infiltration group, you know? So yeah, a lot of stuff is left very ambiguous, so we can't even really guess what the heck's going on. So yeah, the conversation just ends with them knowing that they need to get their head on straight and come up with a good plan. And they're gonna try to find this guardian, the guardian to help them instead of this army. For General Ironwood, the guardian that he would select is probably Penny, because they did say Penny is meant to save the world. And for Ozpin probably has, I say Ozpin's got two choices: Ruby or John, because I see a lot of potential with John, and it'll just be really cliche if it's Ruby, because Ruby's the main character, but whatever. It's between those two. Those two are the prime candidates for Ozpin. So yeah, after that scene, we get to Cinder's group and what the heck they're scheming and planning. Another interesting thing to note is that Mercury said that Crow smells like his dad after a hard day of work, so Mercury's dad was an alcoholic as well, and this could also be a thing that leads into why he's leading this life of crime now. Maybe his dad physically abused him when he was small, and he's traumatized and all this, and it's just leading him to this life of crime. So who knows? We're probably not gonna get too much backstory into these characters, to be honest, but maybe later. But freaking Cinder, because of that virus she put back in the dance infiltration episode, you know, in volume 2, that one virus she planted in the headquarters of the army base, now it got onto Ironwood's, you know, his little iPhone. Now Cinder's got access to Ozpin's own office and all the information that's in there. So yeah, this is really bad news for Beacon and Ruby in the game. And then we also find out that Cinder's been fixing all the fights. You know, she's the one who's deciding who the heck goes against who. Yeah, and she's pinning Emerald and Mercury up against the two teammates in Velvet's team. One's that name I believe is Coco, and the other one's just some samurai guy. I don't remember his name. But yeah, I don't know what Cinder's planning at this point. It's gonna be a tough fight. That's what we know for sure. And yeah, we're gonna find out how this battle turns out later this week. So yeah, this has been TheMildOtaku. This has been my RWBY Volume 3, Episode 3 review. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys have a great day. Comment down below what you guys thought of the episode, what you guys think is gonna happen next, the crazy predictions. You guys know that. Rate the video. Feel free to subscribe to this channel if you guys are new. I would really appreciate it. Catch you guys later, and stay gold.